Hi there, I'm Christian Cawley. You're watching PKTV. Podcasts. I've got a bit of expertise in this area, I think. 2007, we started the podcast at Kasterborous.com, myself and Brian Terranova. We did a few of these, and then in 2010, James McLean joined us, and pretty much we'd never looked back, even after leaving the mother site, as it were. There are a lot of Doctor Who podcasts, some better than others. For instance, someone recently observed that our new sort of, feature of doing commentaries for entire Doctor Who stories is found favour in some other podcasts, let's say. And all power to them. Let's get these episodes and adventures commentarised, if you will. But is there a Doctor Who podcast that really stands out to you? I'm not fishing for compliments here, but you know, we all need to sort of like bounce off each other and sort of take leads off each other. So is there a favourite Doctor Who podcast you listen to? Do you listen to the podcast with a K, first of all? If not, what do you listen to? Why do you listen to that particular podcast? Why not the podcast with a K? I think it's probably time that the Doctor Who production team and the people at BBC Worldwide probably consider the approach of podcasts, the content of podcasts and the benefit of podcasts in a different way to how they have been. They've been focusing on video casts with a fantastic little team such as the amazing and unforgettable Crystal with her 10th Doctor cosplaying fan. She does a great job with the videos, as do the other guys, but we need more podcasts from the BBC, don't we? Or should we just leave it and let the fans do the podcasts, or the independent fans, I should say, do the podcasts? It's an interesting question. We go back to one of the reasons that we left Kasterborous, or left Kasterborous behind, as it now seems to be. That was due to an issue of, partially due to editorial independence and what we could say and what we couldn't say, whether we should say things and whether we shouldn't say things. Would a Doctor Who podcast from the BBC have that editorial independence? Well, the BBC is good at giving editorial independence to its shows. Think things like Points of View and Newswatch on BBC News. When it comes to like franchises like Doctor Who, like Sherlock, like some of the CBeebies shows, etc., or CBBC shows or EastEnders, there's kind of heavy control over those shows. So it's an interesting question. Should the BBC have its own Doctor Who podcast? And if so, who should host it? Producers? Fans? Writers? Who? As ever, tell us what you think in the comments. Just down there, if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're watching on Facebook, just down there. And you can also speak to us on Facebook, on Twitter, and you drop us an email as well to podcasterborous@gmail.com. I'm Christian Cawley, this is PKTV. Until next time.